Hello everyone. So today we are going to see two different questions on the strings again, which is edit distance and wildcard matching. Both of these are again intuitively related to LCS only. You should know LCS before solving this, and then you'll get the better idea. But again, a little bit different pattern, at least for wildcard matching, which is categorized as Leetcode hard also. If you solve those problems, if there are some other problems with similar kind of patterns given to you, you'll be able to solve. Okay, so edit distance is quite simpler. Let me just explain you over here, and solving part you can do by yourself. I hope for the last video you had solved lead code problems by yourself. Okay, so edit distance, what it says that you are given two strings, string one, which is let's say horse, as per the lead code example only I'm taking, and string two, which is just ROS. Okay, cool. Now, what they want us to do is they want us to have these two strings equal. Okay, we have to make string one equal to string two. Now, string one should be made equal to string two. So, string one should be ROS at the end of this whatever algorithm we do. Okay, so we have to make string one to be same as string two. Okay, and whatever you want, you can do. You can either insert a character, you can delete a character from string 1, or you can replace a character of string 1. These three operations you will do, and these operations will take 1 points. Okay, and you have to do this in minimum number of operations. So each of this will take one operation, and you have to do it in the minimum operations. Now your interviewer may change it to let's say 2, that delete operation takes 2, but insert an update takes 1 insert and replace takes 1 So then if you know this, it's easy for you to solve. Once you get the idea, like okay, what you have to do. Even this is very simple. This is lead code medium only. Now what are given to us is we have string 1, string 2. Of course, we will take 2 DDP, one I pointer for string 1, which will start from 0 for us, one J pointer for string 2, which will again start from 0 to us. And what does this DP of IJ stores? Minimum operations. These operations could include anything to make string 1 from which part? From I to n. From I to n equals string 2 of j to n. J to m. Okay? Cool. Okay. Now, what can we do? Like, what are the choices we have? We have insert, delete, replace choice, or to not do anything, means zero operations, right? And when can we do that? When both of these parts are matching. So when string one of I is matching with string two of j, we don't have to do any operations. Like, why will I do that operation? Okay, I'll just move to I plus one and j plus one. This is my first choice. And what is my second choice? If your string I and string 1 of I and string 2 of j are not matching, then you have three choices. Either to insert. Now, if you insert a character, you of course have to insert in string 1 only. Whatever operations you do, you have to perform on string 1 only, compulsorily. Okay, that's given. So if you do insertion of character into string 1, so let's say if this is HORSE, and currently I am at this point, okay, at index 1. Now at index 1, I'm inserting some character, let's say A. Then this will move to 2, this will move to 3, this will move to 4, this will move to 5. So your actual string will be like this now, if I'm putting A in at the first index. Okay, so if I have put the A at first index, that means I've inserted a character over here. And for string two, you are at this point. You string two, you are at, let's say your string two is maybe AOR. And that's why if this A is not matching with this O, and then you replace this with this A. So now what will you do? You have to move one. If you insert, you have to move one on J part. Okay, because now this is matched. Now this is matched. Okay, this will for sure move over here because now your index 1 will actually point to O. You've just inserted another character. You're not changing the string. We are not changing string. But at my first index, I've put something else. So again, for matching with O is again left. But what I put is equal to my jth character. So what I'll do, I'll remain at I only, but I'll move j plus 1. This will be my insert character. And your operation will be 1 plus. For delete, if you are deleting a particular character, let's say I'm deleting O when I'm at particular A. That means I have to move one step on I string, but on J, I'm still left to match something with this A to make it equal to A. So for this part, it will be I plus 1 and J remains the same. But if you replace, so let's say if I replace this O with A and I'm not inserting, that means on both of the string, I've made this equal. Okay, so I can move one here, one here also. So what will I do? 1 plus I plus 1 and J plus 1. I hope you got. Okay, so now this is your simplest thing which you can do. So you have now integer solve, and we have two strings s1, s2, ij, and nm. Now what will be your base condition? Okay, so if you have gone out of both of the strings, so if I is greater than equal to n, and at the same time your j is also greater than equal to m, then you will return 0. Nothing, no operations needed now. Okay, no operations needed. Cool. But if your j is greater than equal to m, that means you have completed your jth string, but your I is not yet completed. Okay, then you will do what? You will return the number of characters which are there in the I, that all you have to delete. So you will return n minus I. That all characters you need to delete, so that many operations will be needed. And if I is greater than equal to n, that means your ith part, your string 1 is completed, but string 2 is not, so that many characters you need to add or insert. So I'll return m minus j, that many operations. These are your important base conditions. Okay, again, if your dp of ij is not equal to -1, you will return dp of ij. This is simple. Okay, now if s1 of I is equal to s2 of j, that means we don't have to do anything. What will I do? I'll do dp of ij as solve for I plus 1, j plus 1, and s1, s2, and m. If it's matching, nothing to do. Else, your dp of ij is minimum of 1 plus minimum of 1, because every has one operations. Otherwise, you do have to do individually. If the number of operations are changing, let's say delete has 2 points, then you have to do inside this. So this will be minimum of what? Solve for insertion will take I as it is, j plus 1, comma, deletion will take I plus 1 and j as it is, and replace is taking me to I plus 1, j plus 1. Now how do we recheck the stages? We explain. Okay, cool. And you will return your dpij. Done. Edit distance, solve it in your Leetcode. Very easy question now. Cool. Let's move to another question, which is wildcard matching. Okay, now what does this question says is you are given one string s, okay, and one pattern p. Okay, and let's say the string s is something like double a, uh, double a cb, and your pattern is like a question mark star. Okay, your p has two of these characters, question mark and star. Now question mark means you can match it with any character, match it with any single character. Okay, as per your wish, from a to z you can match it with any single character. And star means it could be either empty, subsequence, or any subsequence. Okay, so star could mean an empty character also, means nothing. Okay, or star could mean cb also. Here in this case, if I match this a with this question mark with a and this star with cb, then this is true. I'm able to match this pattern with this string s, that means I'll return true. But if I have only a and question mark, that means this is false. I'm not able to derive AACB out of this. I can only derive AA. Okay, or if I replace question mark with C or B, it could be ACAB, anything, but I could not make AACB exactly. So the star could be empty or the star could be any subsequence. Okay, now how do we do? Okay, now first let's, okay, we have two DDP, I and J, I pointing to S, J pointing to P, clear until this point. Okay, so here DP have J, you have 2D DP string. Cool. Now let's define of the base condition later on. Okay, let's first discuss what could be the possible choices. So your possible choices, one of this, if your S of I is equal to P of J, okay, if it is equal to Pj, or your P of J is question mark. In both of these cases, if P of J is question mark and your Si is not equal to Pj, that means you can put this question mark to whatever character is there in Si. Correct? Correct? In both of these cases, what you will do? You will just move forward I plus 1, j plus 1 because you have matched. So you will do dp of ij is equal to solve for I plus 1, j plus 1 for both this S and P. Now, now your condition is like else if your Pj is equal to star, then what you do? Now, star could match with empty subsequence or any subsequence. We have two choices. Okay. Now, let's say you are given the string AA as S and your P as, yeah, your P is given as, let's say, AA star. Okay. Then at first time, AA matching, you will move to I plus 1, J plus 1. Again, AA matching. So above condition is getting, you will move here and you will move to star. Anyways, this got over now. Okay. So it should come under base condition, but let's say we are here. P of J is star. So this should be empty string. This should be empty string. So that means I didn't want to match it with any character of S. Okay, or let's say it's given AAB and AA star B is given to you as B. Okay, you have matched this, match this. Now for this star, you can either match it with B, but if you match it with B, what will you do for this B? And you will get false. But if you leave it as empty and you will match this B with this B, you will get true. Okay, so you can match the star as empty. Now, if I'm matching the star as empty, that means I just have to move one step on J and nothing to move on I side. So I have one condition as I'm just moving on J and I'm not moving on I side. This is for empty subsequence. That means for J character, which is star, I have considered it as empty. Empty. Okay. Now, if I want to match it with some subsequence, now I didn't know until when I want to match. So I'll try and match one characters. Okay, one characters. So if I'm matching one characters, that means I am matching this star with this B and I'm moving ahead on I. I didn't know until why I'll match. But I'll stay at star point only. So that if I want some other character to also match with the star, that subsequence could match. So at that point, what I'll do, I'll move on I, but I'll remain on star so that I can add any characters going further if I want. A subsequence characters, single characters. Okay. So this is your condition. Now let's solve this. One thing I left to mention is base condition. Now what could be a base condition here? Okay, if you have reached, if your J string got over, let's say, okay, now you don't have any patterns left. Okay, and if your, so let's say your P is AA and your S is AAA. Okay, this you match, this you match. Now this got over, so J becomes greater than equal to M. And I is still not greater than equal to N. That means, of course, false. Because S does not have any those special characters like question mark star. So if at this point your I is also greater than equal to N, then you will return true. This is true false question, right? Else you will return false. Now, if your I is completed, that means you have completed your S string. So if your jth character is coming as star, is equal to star. Until then, no issues. Until then, you can move forward with the J characters. So consider that as empty. For empty, what are we doing? I and J plus 1. Okay, that is okay. So you will return this. You will return solve for I J plus 1. Else, if it is not star, if it is question mark or any other character from A to Z, that means that is wrong. So else you will return false in this case also. When your S is completing and J is not yet completed. Okay, if both complete, then in any of this case, it will return true. Okay, now let's solve it quickly. Okay, so let me share the step. Okay, same thing mentions over here. Uh, what are our max lengths goes to 2000. So let have into dp of 2005, 2005. Okay, and memset dp minus 1 size of dp. Okay, I'll have one bull solve which will have its string ampersand s, string ampersand p, int I, int j, and an m. Let's say. Okay. Now your base condition. If your j has been greater than equal to m, then return I greater than equal to n. This is optimized way of writing it. Okay. Return I greater than equal to n means if I greater than equal to n, return true, else return false. Else if your I is greater than equal to n and j is not yet, then if p of j is equal to star, return solve for s p, I will remain as it is j plus 1 and an m. Else return false. Okay, if dp of ij is not equal to minus 1, we will return dp of ij. Now if s of I is equal to p of j, or your p of j is equal to question mark, in that case you will return dp of ij as solve for sp I plus 1, j plus 1, and an m. Okay, else if p of j is equal to star, then you will return dp of ij as solve for, this should be or, okay, so it should be solve for sp, it could be either matching or empty, so or sp I and j plus 1 for empty and an m. Else of course you will return false. Cool. Done. Okay, we'll have this int n is equal to s dot size, m is equal to p dot size, return solve for sp 0 0 and an m. Very good question, and there are so many variations which could be asked in your interview related to this question. I hope you got it. So here we complete our string DP also, and in the next video now I'll be going to something called as game type of TP, or I would say interval TP. Okay, wherein we have two persons who are choosing, and okay, we'll understand it in the next video. If you have learned a lot, please do like, share, and subscribe it with your friends.